Okay, so your guide to the best revenue model. This is where I'm just showing you what we do to help people scale their profit, because it's like the sooner we cut to the punchline, it's like, what did we do? Why did we decide on this particular revenue model? Because it works. It gets people to results faster. That's like the number one reason. And number two reason is like you can grow a business on it. It's highly profitable. My guess is like the most profitable business model right now, unless you're like a doctor selling chemotherapy, like, and even that is not as scalable and might not make you feel as good at the end of the day. Okay, so identify your convictions, habits, and expertise. You have convictions about health and wellness habits from your expertise. Identify what is essential for your future club members. So I'm already showing you that, like, I'm talking about this idea of club. I want to back out for a minute and just show you why. So the deal is this, is people today, we know that the diseases of today are chronic inflammatory diseases. So that's what everybody seems to have, is chronic inflammatory diseases. Chronic inflammation, it could be allergies, it could be atopic dermatitis, it could be asthma, and then it could later down the road go to like an autoimmune disorder or just a flat out disease at large. So if we just look at the inflammation equation here, we've got health issues that go to poor health. So people might start with vague issues like they're tired, they're overweight, they're bloated, they're easily distracted, they have brain fog. All these are chronic inflammation, right? And then end up at C, which is they actually have a diagnosable disease. They may have an autoimmune disorder. They may have long haul COVID. They may have cancer. Even like seemingly healthy people are seeming to have cancer, right? Autoimmune disease to immune disease, etc. All right, so because what we know about health issues, and I know this turned into like a little mini lecture of mine from Uninflamed, my latest book on it's just on Amazon. But we know that diet and lifestyle is what is driving chronic inflammation. Like the data's in on that. If you want the data, it's all in Uninflamed. Please go read it. Degenerative habits. So we have habits that cause us to degenerate. They're common in modern culture. They are modern culture. So snacking, eating late, sedentary lifestyle, convenience food, making short-term decisions or where you're sacrificing the long-term for the short-term, like, oh, sure, I'll have some ice cream with that. Worrying, negative thinking, and sacrificing sleep. So all of this is what's going on. And because of this, we need to do the opposite. We need positive stressor or longevity habits. So longevity habits: intermittent fasting, detox, fitness, nutrition, purposeful living, breathing, meditation, sleep, like all these things. And there's a lot more. I have 22 of them in Uninflamed, including forgiveness. And this first feedback loop is really with the self, right? That the person gets clear, I don't want to feel like this in the future. I want to look like one of those people, not like one of these blimped out people. Or even just the feeling of being completely overwhelmed, one of these completely overwhelmed people in the inflammation equation, right? So I want to get to the other side of it. Well, there's things that we have to do. And this is why we teach the club's model. We teach a club model at Wellness Pro Academy, and it's you as leader of the club. Now, other revenue models, yes. All the other revenue streams, like you can keep those. You can keep all of them. But to get clients to results right now, we have to be more habit driven, right? We have to have our eyes on the prize. So because this is the case, and these are images that I drew for Uninflamed, habits is how we get to a purpose-aligned life. So part of stress right now is that we don't know, often we are disconnected from purpose, meaningful living. Like what exactly is it, who am I and what is my life about, and how do I orient towards meaning? How do I orient towards purpose? So when we do that, our personality can take shape around what's needed for the job, right? For what's needed for that purpose. Then what are the habits that actually get us there? And that's the hierarchy. And inside all of us, inside all of your future club members, and inside of all cognizant human beings, is like this ability to orient, right? The third eye is the main eye. It's like, how do you see the future? It's why there's one-eyed gods in the old stories, in the oldness. There's one-eyed gods because there's like some part of you that can see whether you're oriented in the right direction or not. And so as you encounter more and more clients who are like in this place where they don't have the longevity habits, they don't have positive stressors, they're getting feedback, they're willing to change, and they're accepting that, but they really need a leader. And like, that's you. Is like you create the community, the structure. So how does this work? If you're a yoga studio owner, if you're a doctor, and you have a clinic, or if you're a physical therapy clinic owner, right? Like that's really where we land with your guide to the best revenue model. Because it's like, if we get that we've got to change people's habits, we get that people actually transform faster in a community. So because people change faster together, right? What an interesting thing. Like, what does that even mean? Well, this is, I love this economic value ladder. Again, all the resources for these studies are on Inflamed, so I'm not citing them in my little profit guide here. All right, so basically it goes something like this. Most of you are delivering services. What does that mean? It means like you're charging consults or classes or surgeries or therapies, et cetera. So it's like a dollar to hour type of an equation, which is what it is, and that's where it shows up there. So it's like medium pricing, competitive position. What does that mean? It's like you compete until you customize. So customizing right now is what people call niching, right? You niche and you get really, it's part of what customization is niching is part of that, where you identify, like, this is exactly what I do for whom, here to there. That gives people more or less a more guaranteed experience. So what is the highest rung of the value ladder is where you have the most differentiation in the marketplace, meaning like there's no two of you. Like whoever you are, and I'll get further in this little teaching about how to know what your wealth dynamic is. How do you naturally accelerate profit? How do you naturally guide more people to results? There's a wealth dynamic around that. So how much value exchange in the marketplace comes back to you in terms of profit and wealth. All right, so premium pricing, most differentiated is guided transformation. Like, what the heck is that? What is guided transformation? What is guided transformation? Because if you can charge a premium, and if it's totally reliant on you being you, like you just do you, wellness pro, like walk the talk, right? Like live it, do it, like for real. Lead from your wellness lifestyle. That's what we're talking about at Wellness Pro Academy. Lead from habit, lead from lifestyle. Why? Because that's the only thing that's going to save your people. They need a leader for their habits and their lifestyle that is not going towards degeneration. That's going to regeneration. Okay, so then how do you package that so that it's not customized to every single person? It's customized to your group. And what do we call a group? Here we call it a club. Why do we call it a club? What? My own wellness club. Why we call it a club is because of this. You can guide the transformation.